All right, Shalom. This is your brother Shamar from the Phoenix camp. And with that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work, and truth and sincerity. The right to lesson. This is Luke 17:6, and it says, "And the Lord said, If ye had faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye might say unto the sycamore tree, Be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, they should obey you." So that's the kind of faith that we have to build up, man. The faith that tells our spirit that nothing is impossible. A mountain moving faith, so to speak, man. And if you don't have that faith, you have a weak faith. So that's why, brothers make videos. That's why we edify one another daily, for the building up of our faith, because that's what that word edify means. It means to build. Edification means to build. So we have to build that grain of mustard seed faith, which is the smallest of all seeds. You got to build it to a level where you believe all things are possible, or to a level to believe that nothing is impossible, because that's what the scripture says. Nothing is impossible in the Most High. So if you believe in the Most High, then you believe that nothing is impossible, man. That whatever situation that you're in, if you're a man of the Lord, you believe you're a man of the Lord, that He will bring it to a positive outcome. Even though the situation that you're in, even though for the time being it feels hopeless, it feels negative, it feels against you, you don't know that the Lord could be using that situation for your growth, for your experience, man. Let's get Hebrews 11:17. This is Hebrews 11:17, and it says, "By faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac." So he was given a dire situation. He was given a situation which was unpleasant, and that was the sacrificing of his son. But even in that unpleasant situation, he found hope. It says, "By faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that received the promise offered up his only begotten son, of whom is said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that Yahweh was able to raise him up." So he believed on the promise that the Lord gave him, the first four promises. He didn't doubt it, man. He didn't doubt that in Isaac his seed was going to be called, even though he was in the midst of so-called sacrificing Isaac, as he was told by the Most High, by the angel of the Most High, man. It says, "Whom it said that as Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that Yahweh was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence he also received them in figure." So that's what it is, man. He received the promise, and he didn't doubt that promise, man. He didn't doubt that the Lord was able to do things to make His promises come true. Even though the situation, in the present, to the carnal mind, it would seem like, well, how's this going to help, or how's this going to create the outcome that the Most High promised? And then that's the thing, thinking with your carnal mind, man. Because the flesh is weak. So if you think in a carnal mind state, when all this shit starts popping off to the highest level, you're gonna be discouraged, man. Because what's gonna happen is all these things are gonna seem against you. You're gonna feel like you got the world on your shoulders. You're gonna feel like everything is hopeless. And if you're on a carnal level, man, you're gonna cave. And that's something that you gotta prepare your mind for right now. I always bring up this subject because this is what it is, man. You gotta build up your faith. You gotta build yourself up as a man of the Lord. You gotta progress. You gotta bring forth more fruits. You gotta abound in fruits, man. You gotta be fully equipped. You gotta fully equip yourself. You gotta be fully persuaded in your mind. So on and so forth, man. Many scriptures that come into mind. In the story of Abraham, offer his son up, You know, even though that seemed like a dire situation, that seemed like a situation that made other things impossible, he still had hope in that, man. So he had hope against hope, man. You know, he had hope against hope, and we're gonna have to have hope against hope in these days. I think that's in Romans, the 4th chapter. Hope against hope. It says Romans 4. Let's see where it's at. It says Romans 4:17. It says, this is speaking about Abraham. It says, as is written, I have made thee a father of many nations. That was a promise that was made unto him. Before him, whom he believed, even Yahweh, who quickeneth the dead, and calleth those things which be not as though they were. You see that? That back again. So I run that back again. It says, as is written, I have made thee a father of many nations. That was the promise given to Abraham. Before him, who he believed, even Yahweh, who quickeneth the dead. You know, because even if Isaac was to be sacrificed, you know, in a physical death, he believed the Lord was able to raise him back up from the dead again. It says, and call us those things which not as though they were. You see that? Call us those things not as though they were. So what might seem impossible is not impossible, man. Who against hope believed in hope. See that? Who against hope believed in hope. And that's the kind of faith that we have to strive to attain. When against hope we believe in hope. So when all things are against us, we have to continue in that faith, because that's going to be the trial. That's going to be the test. You know, the scriptures talk about, you know, the man of the Lord being trialed, tested, and proven, you know, as gold in the fire, man. So is acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. So there's going to be hopeless situations that the man of the Lord's going to be in these days to come. And you got to hope against hope, like it says in verse 18, who against hope believed in hope. Then you become the father of many nations. You believe on the promise, man. And we have to believe on the promises also. According to that which was spoken, so shall thy seed be. And be not weak in faith. So a strong faith triumphs over against hopelessness. He considered not his own body now dead when he was about 100 years old, neither yet the deadness of Sarah's womb. He staggered not at the promise. See that? He wavered not at the promise. He didn't doubt it, man, for a second. He was fully persuaded. That's what it said in verse 21. Not at the promise of Yahweh through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to Yahweh, and being fully persuaded that what he had promised, he was able to perform. So he didn't doubt it for a second, man. Even though it looked like all the odds were against him, he didn't doubt it for a second. And that's that mustard seed faith that moves mountains, man. That's why the continual growth of your faith is vital. And the only way that's going to happen is by going through shit, by going through the mud, by catching hell, man. That's the only way that's going to happen, man. That's why the Most High puts us to trials and tribulations and tests and afflictions in our walk. Though, and you know, at the moment, they would say, well, man, I'm going through all this shit, man. Probably the Most High not dealing with me. You know, probably, hey, maybe the Lord don't want me, man. Maybe this, maybe that. You know, those are things that He puts you through to build up your faith, man. Those rebukes, those conditions of affliction, those conditions of hardship. Those conditions where it seems like, man, I'm just fucking up. I'm just keep on fucking up. I can't get shit right. Those are the things that the Lord puts you through to build up your faith, man. He'll make you go off. He'll make you go off and catch hell and go through all kinds of shit for the essential point of building your faith. You know, like chastisement as sons, man. You know, so faith is something that you got to learn to hold on to, regardless of the situation. Because the scripture says, "I know how to be abased and how to be abound." Abound. Let's get that scripture, and that's what Paul, you know, he spoke about that. It says Philippians 4:12. It says, "I know both how to be abased and know how to be abound. So he knew how to conduct himself in every situation, where it was prosperous or where it was affliction. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. So he knew how to conduct himself in whatever situation that he was in. There was no, he didn't change his conduct, he didn't change his faith depending on the situation. It was steadfast. When shit was getting hard for him, his faith didn't weaken. It got stronger. And when shit was going good for him, he didn't say, well, hey, I'm good. Or he didn't say, well, hey, the Most High must be dealing with me. I'm getting all kinds of blessings. Man, on the contrary, man. You gonna get in this truth, you're gonna get more trials and tests than you are blessings. There's gonna be a balance to it, but it's gonna seem that you're getting your ass kicked most of the time. It says Philippians 4:12, I know both how to be abased, and I know how to abound everywhere in all things. I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things in that. And people misinterpret that scripture, man. Because Christians love this scripture. It says, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me, or Yahweh Shai which strengthens me, or Meshach Yahweh Shai which strengthens me. And they like to use it as, I can go conquer the world, I can be successful, blah, blah, blah. But what it really means is that when he can do all things, that means he can go through all kinds of shit. Because Yahweh Shai is on his side. He can catch the hardest of hell. Because Yahweh Shai is on his side. He wasn't talking about being prosperous. He was talking about being successful. And that's what these Christians, they like to tattoo the scripture on them a lot, man. I noticed that. A lot of these fucking Christians, especially these Jake Christians, these so-called black Latinos and Native Americans, you like tattooing that Philippians 4:13 upon you, but when the shit goes down, where you gotta fucking get yourself back into a corner and get your ass kicked, that's the only time you're crying for the Lord. Other than that, you ain't even thinking about it. You ain't thinking about no Philippians 4:13, man. I seen a lot to do with that shit, man. And they as carnal as they can be. Well, first of all, you're not ain't supposed to get no tattoos on you anyways. Nevertheless, the scriptures. So you got a scripture tattooed on you, but the scriptures say don't get no tattoos on you. How hypocritical is that? But continuing on, notwithstanding ye have done well, it's not slack. Yeah, that's all I needed on that. So the point of that was, man, that Paul, he knew how to maintain his faith through all situations, man, and through all extremes, because he brought those things out: a base abound, full and hungry, to abound and to suffer need, to have not. He knew how to conduct himself and maintain himself as a man of the Lord through all situations. And that's what we got to grow into, man. We're going to have to learn to conduct ourselves and to maintain our faith in every situation. Every situation. The same faith that you have now in prosperous times, or when things are going good, is the same faith that you need to have when your whole world turns into shit. You got to think about that, man. So, Connie, I'm not going to make this lesson too long. Just a real quick lesson here at the plantation. We got to learn to maintain and be steadfast in our faith, man. Not let it waver. We got many examples of men of the Lord who were strong in the faith, man. From Abraham to Paul, and so on and so forth. And our ultimate example, Yahweh Shai. With that being said, it's a real quick lesson. Most High willing, hope was edifying. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. Let's keep on pushing. Shalom.